Hi, welcome to Attainable Green. I'm Jess, and today we're going to talk about my Dendrobium tobaense. Now, this is a fairly new species discovered in 1993, and it was found in northern Sumatra near Lake Toba, where it gets its name. This is considered an evergreen species. This means that it doesn't drop its leaves annually, but it holds on to its leaves for several years. This Dendrobium has little black hairs all over it, and it's part of the Negro hirsute section. I have the regular form and the giganteum form, and the giganteum form is the one currently in bloom. So I'm going to talk about that specific variety over the regular form, and I'll probably do a comparison video once the flowers open up. This larger form is a little more vigorous and has larger flowers than the original form from what I have gathered. Currently, on one cane, there are 3 flowers, and on the second cane, it looks like we have 3 buds developing. So this is great for its first blooming in my care. I think the flowers on this Dendrobium are really interesting, and there's not too much information about this species, so I just want to share a little bit of background information about where it comes from and also how I grow it. In its native habitat, they live in pine forests near the lake, and it's considered a small-sized Dendrobium that's warm to cool growing. It needs about medium strong light, and that's typical of most Dendrobiums, Oncidiums, and Cattleyas. It likes temperatures between 70 to 75 during the day and 55 to 65 at night. It needs a humidity of 75 to 80% throughout the year, and it can be grown in a pot with well-draining medium. Supposedly, it gets a little bit more light in the wintertime. As for how I'm growing it, it differs quite a bit from what is written in the books or online. So I have it growing indoors on an east-facing windowsill that gets morning light. I water it throughout the growing season and slightly less during the winter time, but I do not give it a winter rest, and I don't completely stop watering, but I just taper it down just a little during the winter time just to keep the canes pretty plump. It's pretty easy to tell when the canes need watering because the canes shrivel up just a little bit, and when you add water, it'll plump right back up. However, the older canes do stay a little bit shriveled, so that's perfectly normal. I consider this one a intermediate grower, and I just grow it in my home conditions, which range from 60 degrees to 80 degrees Fahrenheit, and a humidity between 40 to 60%. And so far, it hasn't given me any trouble. This Dendrobium has been really easy to grow and really easy to bloom. I don't have very many Dendrobiums. I have a Parishii, an osmum, and an antelope type, but those Dendrobiums haven't been doing as well as this particular one for me. The blooms on this plant are so unusual that it's easily become one of my favorite plants. As you can see, the petals and sepals are very reflex, which means they curve backwards. And this bright green color on the plants have a little bit of that window pane patterning throughout. The lip is really interesting. It's bright orange in the throat, and towards the tip, it turns yellow. It's really cool to see 3 blooms on a single cane, and it makes a really nice display that you can turn around from different directions. The second cane also has 3 buds, and I think it's going to also have a similar display. So when this plant is in full bloom, it'll have a nice 360 look of flowers. I noticed that the cane continues to grow throughout the year. So after it flowers, it may continue growing new leaves or send out a new growth. I think as long as the apex of the cane isn't damaged, it will continue to grow and extend. So this is a quick overview of how my Dendrobium tobaense is looking and how I'm growing it. If you have any more information about this plant, I'd love to know and how you grow it. And I'm hoping more people will grow this plant because it's so cool and unusual. I think it should be in every collection. Well, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel, Attainable Green, for all the latest updates. And hit the bell so you never miss an episode. Bye!